Cookin. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making Jack Daniel's glazed pork chops, sliced baked potatoes, Joanne spinach, and chocolate swirl banana cake. So we're going to start with the potatoes because they take the longest. I have 6 russet potatoes that I have scrubbed, and you want to slice them really thin like this. And so I've done 4 in advance just to save us a little time, but I'm going to give you a little trick here. You take your chef's knife, you take your potato, and you take a wooden spoon or something with a handle like that, and this will help guide you so you don't slice all the way through the potato. So you just go like this and make your slices. I'm using them about less than 1/4 of an inch thick, but you just go along the potato like this. Pretty simple. Get down to the end there. Okay, and then you want to kind of fan them out just a little bit like this, so they kind of look like an accordion. I'll slip that in there. Got one more to go here. There we go. Looks like that. Fan it out a little bit. Okay, now we want to sprinkle them with salt and pepper. And then we're going to drizzle them with butter. I have melted the butter, and I've got a basting brush that seems to work better for me than drizzling. Drizzling, you don't have as much control. I'm going to kind of open it up a little bit so it gets inside. This recipe is kind of an alternative to a stuffed baked potato, other than, we're not putting it inside, but we're kind of just drizzling it on the outside. I've got a little bit left, so I'm just going to pour it over. Okay. Now at this point, you can season it with your choice of herbs. I'm going to use some thyme. I like the flavor that gives. And then I'm going to use an Italian herb. I have one of those little handy grinders that you can buy. It's just a McCormick. You can buy it at any store, any grocery store. Okay, and then I have chopped fresh parsley and chives. It says you can use either. I'm using both because I happen to have both in my herb garden. And I talk a lot about having an herb garden, and it's really a simple thing to do. You just buy a bowl and buy the packets of seed. Share it with a friend because it doesn't take that many seeds. Make your own herb garden, and all winter long you'll have fresh, healthy herbs to enhance your cooking. It always makes such a nice presentation too when you've got color like that. Okay. Now, we're going to be putting these in the oven at 425, and they're going to take about 45 minutes to bake until they get tender. You can check your oven. These are pretty big potatoes, so they may take a little bit longer. And then, so we'll bake them for 45 minutes, and then we're going to sprinkle them with Parmesan cheese and with cheddar cheese, and that'll give it kind of a cheesy crust to it. So we'll pop these in the oven and get started on the cake. Okay, I'm going to just quick clean up. We'll be right back. Remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. If you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'd be happy to get you the recipe. So we'll be right back.
As the demand for advanced broadband and cloud-based services continues to grow, so does our commitment to you, our members. We are committed to providing you with the newest technologies and fastest broadband speeds available anywhere. Watch for the exciting details on faster speeds and new broadband packages coming soon.
Okay, we're going to work on the chocolate swirl banana cake. This cake makes a really nice presentation too, because I actually serve it inverted after it's baked. So we're going to start out with, I have my 2 1/4 cups of flour. To that we're going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. And we'll whisk that together. And we're going to set that aside for a few minutes. Now we're going to cream 1/4 cup of butter and 1 1/4 cups of firmly packed light brown sugar. To that we're going to add our 1/2 cup of sour cream. You can use light or full fat sour cream. I'm using the full fat sour cream. Our mashed bananas, I have 3 bananas. That's about what you need. It calls for about 1 1/2 cups. 1 egg, and 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Okay, you got it just so it's smooth. You don't want to overbeat it. Then we're going to add our flour and soda. Okay, you want to mix it just until it's mixed. You don't want to over mix this. Okay, now to this we're going to add our 3/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips that I've melted in the microwave. I usually just go ahead and dump it right on top. Okay, now to this I'm going to just swirl it so it gives kind of a marbleized pattern. You don't want to overmix it, you just want to kind of give it some swipes so you can see where it's starting to marbleize. looks like this. We're going to pour it in the pan. This is an 8x8. I've sprayed it with Pam. Spread it to the corners. Okay, we're going to put it in the oven. This will take about 45 minutes. You'll just have to, once you get towards the end, you'll want to test it with a toothpick or your cake tester just to make sure. You want to make sure it's baked through and through, but you don't want it to be dry. So get it going here. Now we're going to work on our pork. This recipe actually calls for pork chops, but sometimes they're difficult to find in some of our stores because people don't buy them so often. So I found that in talking to our butcher in Eureka that they don't carry them very frequently because they aren't real popular. Most people will buy the pork tenderloin. So I bought the big loin and I sliced it in 1-inch pieces. So they look like this. This recipe calls for 6. So I've got 6 real nice, beautiful pork tenderloins. So what we want to do is put those in a Ziploc bag, and then we're going to make our marinade. Marinade is 1/2 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, I'm telling you this, I just recently came across this recipe, so I've only made it a couple of times, but this is honestly one of the best recipes I've ever made. You are going to love it, and you are going to love making it and serving it for your family and friends. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 2 tablespoons of Jack Daniels. If you don't have Jack Daniels, any whiskey will do, or if you prefer bourbon, whatever you have will work. I like the smoky flavor that Jack Daniels gives. And after we're going to be cooking the marinade. After we get done marinating the pork, it takes away all the alcohol, so you don't have to worry about if you're a non-drinker or whatever. And another thing, a lot of times liquor stores will carry the really small little bottles, so if you don't want to have a lot on hand and you don't want to buy a big expensive bottle of alcohol that you won't use that frequently, just go ahead and do that. Okay, and we need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm using the restaurant grade pepper. I made this for friends, and they were actually taking spoons and eating the glaze by the spoonful. They loved it so much. So I know you're going to enjoy this. Mix it all together. And then we're going to pour it into the Ziploc bag. I'm using a freezer bag just because it's stronger. When you've got that much weight and that much liquid, it just makes me feel a little safer about putting it in my refrigerator and not having a big mess. Okay, I'm gonna get as much air out as I can here. Zip it up, and then we want to kind of shake it around, knead it around so that everything is covered. Flatten them back out again, and we're going to put it in the refrigerator, and we're going to marinate it for 30 minutes. After 15 minutes, we're going to just take it like this and flip it over. If you want to make it ahead of time, you can marinate this for a half a day. If you're having guests and you want to just kind of get some things done ahead of time, the longer the marinade, the better it's going to be, but 30 minutes is what the recipe calls for. So we're going to stick it in the refrigerator here. And then we'll start working on our spinach. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to get cleaned up and we'll be right back, but I just want to remind you that if you would like to have this recipe, go ahead and call the girls at Valley and they'll be happy to give you the recipe if you don't have internet. Otherwise, if you've got internet, go on the website, click on the Country Cookin' Cow on the side, and that's where you'll find the recipes. We'll be right back.
Get 3 months free access on all lines, plus a new 4G smartphone for only $4.99 a month. 2 great offers with Valley Cellular. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this great deal.
Okay, now we're going to work on Joanne's spinach. If you like spinach and artichoke dip, you will love this vegetable. So we're going to start out with a softened 8-ounce cream cheese and 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to put that in the microwave for just about 10 seconds, just to kind of soften it real well. And then we're going to I have drained 2 10-ounce packages of spinach, and it's raw. What you want to do then, after you squeeze all the moisture out and everything, you spread it into your pan. I'm just going to use fingers. Sometimes fingers work better than spoons. I grease the bottom of this with butter. You don't have to, the recipe doesn't call for you to do it, but I just think it never hurts. That's what it looks like. We'll mix these two together. Then we're going to spread that over the top of the spinach. This is so simple too. It's so fun when you find something that's as simple as it is delicious. And here again, this is another one of those things you can make in advance, put it in the refrigerator, and it only takes about 20 minutes to bake. If it's ice cold from being in the refrigerator, you might want to allow yourself a half an hour. But it's nice to have a dish that you can make up, put it in the refrigerator, and bake it when you're ready to go. Okay, looks like this. Then we're going to take our artichoke hearts. This is an 8-ounce. This is 8 ounces of artichoke hearts. Sometimes and they are marinated. I like the flavor that the marinated artichokes give you. It's just a little. It just has a better flavor than just the plain canned artichokes. So if you can find the marinated artichoke hearts, I sometimes buy 2 or 3 jars at a time, just because I use it in salads and everything. So just spread it out like that. Just like that. Okay, so now we're going to sprinkle it with a half cup of Parmesan cheese. Actually, I think that's going to be enough. I'm not using quite the whole half cup. Looks like that. And then you need some buttery crackers. I use Ritz. I like the flavor of Ritz, and I usually have them on hand. And I found that 9 is about the right amount to cover your casserole. Just sprinkle it over the top. And between the Parmesan cheese and the crackers, you're going to get a nice golden top on that. Okay, we're going to set this aside because it only takes 20 minutes to bake. So when we're just about ready to grill the pork, we'll put it in the oven and it'll be ready at the same time. So we're going to take a little break. We'll make our ganache for the cake as soon as we get back. I'm going to clean up a little bit. We'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications is pleased to announce that our Technology Solutions Center is fully stocked and open for business. We have a large selection to meet your wants and needs. Some of the items we currently carry are a variety of corded and cordless phones, different brands of tablets such as Kindle Fires and Apple iPads and all the accessories for them, Telekin computers, Epson and HP printers and ink cartridges, Apple iPods and accessories, office supplies, wireless keyboards and mice, cellular phones and accessories, different types of media storage, cameras, headphones, power strips and surge protectors, and much, much more. You can also get your very own Valley swag. Our prices are reasonable and comparable to any other retail store. If there is something that you want or need that we do not currently carry, please let us know so that we can check into it for you. We accept all major credit cards, cash or check. Please feel free to stop by our office and check out our new and improved store for all of your technology and day-to-day business needs.
Okay, we're going to work on the ganache for the cake. I have a half cup of heavy whipping cream, and then we're going to put it on the stove, and we want to scald it. So we'll put it on kind of a medium-high heat, and then we'll just kind of watch it till it scalds, and then we're going to add our 2/3 cup of semi-sweet chocolate, and then put the lid on and let it melt itself into the cream. So we have to wait a few minutes for that, and we'll be right back. Okay, our cream is scalded. I'm going to pour in the 2/3 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and then we're going to just remove it from the heat, put the lid on it, and let the cream melt the chocolate for us. And I've taken the potatoes out of the oven. This is what they look like. And now we're going to sprinkle them with our Parmesan cheese and our cheddar cheese. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle it with our half cup of Parmesan cheese. And then our cheddar cheese, anywhere from 1 cup to 1.5 cup. And that I kind of apply it a little bit, kind of press it on a little bit, just to have some control. Okay, we're going to put these back in the oven for about 10 or 15 minutes, and we're going to get the grill going.
Valley's Mobile Command Center is coming to a town near you. Stop in at Valley's Mobile Command Center to learn more about our services, see and test some of our products, ask questions, or just to visit with us. Make sure to check your newsletter for specific dates and times when we will be rolling into your town.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, we're going to take our pork out of the refrigerator. I flipped it at about 30-minute interval. So what we're going to do is remove it from the bag, reserve the marinade, and put it into a saucepan. And then we're going to cook that marinade and then pour it over the pork when we serve. So, spatula here. Now, if you don't have a grill, you don't barbecue, you can always put these in the oven and put them under your broiler, and it'll take you probably about 10 minutes on each side if you do it in the oven. You want to get all the sauce you can out of here because it is so delicious. You just won't even believe it. This concoction is amazing. Okay, what we're going to do then is put this on the stove on low. We're just going to let it simmer and boil a little bit on a real low simmer, and then we'll pour it over our pork when we're ready. So I'm going to go out and get these on the grill. Then we're going to get that out of the oven, and we're going to set it on a rack, let it cool for a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm stirring our grenache together, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for just a few minutes to set up, and we'll invert our cake and frost it. Looks good.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, I've got my tenderloins. My thermometer reads 160. Pull that out. Set that aside, that'll stay warm for a few minutes. We're going to invert our cake. Just want to make sure my sides are loose. Perfect that looks. Grab a little spatula so we can get every bit. I just go ahead and let it drizzle down the side and kind of help it a little bit. Now you can make this cake in advance. You can even freeze it if you've got some bananas on hand and you think you may be having company sometime soon. Go ahead and make it, throw it in the freezer, and and bring it out thawed when you're ready to use it. But this makes a nice dessert. Made a little mess. Get out the rest of our things here. So our potatoes. And our spinach. We're going to drizzle our glaze over the tenderloins. How's that for a presentation? It's great, doesn't it? Okay, we'll go ahead and dish. So we'll get a tenderloin. A scoop of the piping hot spinach. Kind of a big potato, so I'm going to help myself out with a spatula here. There we go. Okay, we have our Jack Daniel's glazed pork chops, our sliced baked potatoes, Joanne's spinach, and our chocolate swirl banana cake. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Country Cooking, and we hope to see you next time.